Hi everyone, it's Saul again from Big Change for the second part of our templates tutorial. Thank you for coming back. For those of you who was with me this morning, we went over kind of the basics of templates, what they were, and how to start off creating them. In this afternoon session, I want to go into it a bit more detail and just explore the more advanced things that you can do with templates and how some ideas really that you can use on your site as well. So I'm just going to go back to my test site. So for anyone who wasn't here this morning, so just to clarify how you get to the template section. So if we go to My Account Administration, and you've got the templates quick link here, or you've got the template section within Account. So here's a list of all our templates on our site. We can click into them and edit and create any new ones from there. I'm just going to start off by Charlie's tutorial tomorrow. Just going to start off by getting some notes and just explore the option of how you can use a template to trigger off the back of a note creation. So we've got this customer survey note type that I've set up with some customer survey questions on there. This is kind of a similar idea that you could use for obtaining job information from a customer, or any kind of information that you want for them to input into the system. So we've got the options on the note type. If we just go to customer survey and click edit, we've got the option to email or automatically email on the back of either note creation or when a note is completed. So I've just selected here for when a note is created of this type. We've got the option to email, and we've selected the template, the customer survey questions. So I'm just going to show you how that looks on the template side. So it's this template here, and if we just click into this, so it's just an image that I've inserted here. We discussed that this morning on how to insert images just using this picture image URL section on here, and just insert an image. And we've got a few keywords that again we discussed this morning. So we've got current date selected, and we've got the note reference. So note reference here. And then we've got dear first name. So that'll be the first name of the person that the note's created against. We really value your opinion and would appreciate your feedback. Please complete our survey by answering the following 5 questions. So these are the 5 questions that were on the note workflow. And we've got a link here to click. So what this link is, if we go back to keywords and contacts and notes, and we've got the option for a workflow link on here. So we select this, and I've just typed in click here and added that to the template. All the best and username. So we just close that. So we're just going to create a note now on the system. New note. Select the contact as you would. I'm going to select this customer survey note type. I'm just going to type in so Shapiro FM customer survey as the subject, and we're just going to set the due date for tomorrow. So when we save this note now, it's going to pop up with the email template that we've built. So we've not got an email on there. So if we select to send it to Milos, and we'll just send that. So this can be used for any information that you want to kind of retrieve from the outside in. Just receive that email, so let me just take a look. So this is how the email comes through. So we've got a request for a customer survey, and this is how it is on our site here. So we've got the note here, we've got the workflow questions, we've got the 5 workflow questions that we've set up. So it's right there. So got these 5 questions. So how would you rate the friendliness of our engineer, cleanliness, quality of work, and would you recommend our services? So what your customers can do through here is click this link through that keyword on the template, and they've got the option to fill out your note workflow from here. So they've got options from 5 down to 1. And they've completed the form then from that keyword on the template. So if we go back to the note now, we can see that their answers have now pulled through to the note, and we can then complete it from here and have that logged as a customer survey on there. So if you wanted to kind of retrieve job information, say you were going out to do a boiler repair and you wanted to kind of get some information before you attended site, you could set up questions to say location of the boiler, the make and model, if there's any issues with it, how long it's been installed, and what the date was on it. So you can create this note against the job type and trigger that templated email to be sent off the back of opening that ticket. So again, we've just used that keyword on the template to insert the workflow link, which is it. Okay, so the next set of keywords that I wanted to talk about that I didn't get a chance to discuss this morning is some of the formulas that are available in the keywords. So we're just going to head to the second template. So I showed this in this morning session how we insert the worksheet answers. So we've got here, is there a risk of fire? And I showed briefly the outcome of when we did the job, and it inserted some images on there. So I'm just going to go through quickly how to kind of get those images on there. I'll just show you quickly how it looks before, and then go through it. So we'll just schedule a new job this afternoon. So it's this risk assessment worksheet that triggers those. So we'll just take a quick look at that. So on this risk assessment form, we've got some questions. So we've got, is there a risk of fire? And it's a yes/no question. And we've got, are there any chemicals, electricity, explosives? Are you doing any hot works on there, or any risk of slips and trips, etc.? So we've got these as kind of a risk assessment on the job type, and the engineer will be filling this out on his tablet. And we'll just do that now from the back office side. This form must be completed. That's fine. Is there a risk of fire? Yes. Are there any chemical hazards? Yes. Risk of explosives? No. And we'll just schedule this job. So what's happening on this side for these questions that are on that worksheet? We've got two columns. We've got a yes column. We've got a no column. And we've got two formulas that are going on. So to insert a formula, you go to insert keyword, and it's in the miscellaneous section, and we've got the option for a formula. So we can name this fire yes. As in, if he answers yes to the fire question, we can insert a condition in here. So there's three options on formulas. We've got condition, operation, and a rounding formula. So if we choose condition, and we're going to say if the answer to the question is there a risk of fire, so we choose that worksheet question. So if the answer to is there a risk of fire is equal to yes, we want it to trigger something in the yes column. We don't want anything to show in the no column if there's going to be an answer yes. If there's going to be an answer no, we're not going to need anything in the yes column, and vice versa. So what I've inserted into here. So it's dependent. So if the answer to the fire question is yes, I've chose to insert an image. So if you want to take a note, I'll actually put this in the chat. This is just the formula that I'm putting in the chat for inserting an image. And we've chosen to insert this image here. Which is just the fire hazard symbol. So if it's answered yes to is there a risk of fire, we're going to insert the fire risk symbol into the column. And if it's not yes, then we're just going to leave it. So there's no condition for if it's false. And we've got the no column. So if the answer to this is no, we're going to insert this image. Which is just a tick, so everything's fine. And again, if the answer is not no, we're just going to leave that column blank. Again, the same with chemical hazards. So if the answer is yes to chemical hazards, I think I just got these from the government website for the symbols. So if there's a chemical hazard, insert this image. And then if not, leave it blank again. And I've gone through so chemical hazards, again, a tick in the no box if no. I've gone through electricity and explosive materials as well. But I do the same for hot works, slips, dust. And again, we can populate these columns depending on the answers. So depending on what the engineer chooses, we can choose which column is populated, the yes column or the no column. And again, just for anyone who wasn't on the session this morning, just in terms of building this actual table itself, I advise to head to Google Docs, just insert an image with loads of cells, insert a table, sorry, with loads of cells, and then start merging cells depending on where you want your information. So for engineer, we'll merge these 3 cells, then we'll leave 2 cells for the resource name and 3 for the address. And then we'll do 2 rows for the actual address to be inserted. So that's what I advised this morning. We talked as well about also using Word if you feel more comfortable in Word to insert tables in there and do it that way. But my preference is just to do it through Google Docs. Again, with the shading on the cells, I just said just select the cell, and you can shade the boxes from there. So we'll just close this and we'll just go back to the job that we've done. And we'll just download that as a PDF. So these are the results in terms of, we've got our header in there. We've got the cells with engineer. It's populated the resource who's done it, the time that it was done, the job type, the contact, and the address with the job reference as well. And these are the columns that have been populated. So the images have come through for when it's been answered yes, and we've got the tick for when everything's fine in that category. So just to go over again on, because it can be a little bit complex on adding a condition. So we just go to add a condition and we choose to select the worksheet question, select the answer to that worksheet. And then we've got the options to say if it's equal to, and insert the text. That has to be there. Just to mention, the text does have to match exactly with what the worksheet answer is. So if you have got text questions in there from a list, if it wasn't yes no questions and it was text instead, it would have to match exactly for it to pull through the images. So that's spacing, and that's why it's probably better on the worksheet questions, if you're going to have this, to match it with a list option. So to insert the possible answers, and that way the answers are going to stay uniform, and you're not relying on the engineers to kind of type it in correctly. They can just select from the list, and it will match and trigger the image to insert. Otherwise, you're just going to have a blank column in there. And then I've inserted the link into the chat. So if you want to take that, and again, it's the same as how you get your logo or images on there, just insert the URL. So I'll just go over that quickly for those that weren't on this morning's session. So you will all have an image on your site. So here's the big change demonstration image, and it's stored at this URL. So if you want to just use the one that's on your site, you can go to My Account Administration and General Account Settings, and you've got the option, the account details for the URL of your logo. If it's a different image that you want to use, so if it's not this logo on here, you can go to any contact on your site. If you want to store them at your own contact, so if we go to Big Change in this case, and we want to go to attachments, and if you add any image from your desktop, from your documents to the attachment section, as soon as it's added into here, it will show like this, and if you click on it, it will give you a URL at the top of the screen there. You just copy that URL and insert that as you would. So that's kind of the condition formula on the templates, and how you can get changing answers. Again, if you just wanted to populate one of the answers, even if you wanted to just say yes or no, you can say, or even if you wanted a tick in both columns, you can still use that condition to say if the answer is yes, insert the tick into this column, and if no, insert it into the other. So I'm just going to head back to the template section. I'm just going to go to the formulas again. So yeah, to get to the formulas, it's insert keyword and miscellaneous, and then there's the formula just below the sub-templates that we showed this morning. So formula, you name it whatever you want. And so we've seen the condition. We've got, you can choose this off any field as well. So if there's a custom field, if there's a resource name, if you only want to show one photo, if it's a specific resource, or if it's specific custom fields, then you can do that through the expression, and it will link you to the keywords again. So that's the condition. Just going to take a look at the operation now. So an operation is, so these are the operation types. So it's just addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So if you have got any quantities on your worksheet answers, so say your engineers are out and they're filling out quantities, and you want to either add those quantities together to maybe get an average or get a total score for something, then you can use these options here. So if you want to add all the answers together and then divide it by however many answers there are to get an average, then you can do that through here. So I'm just going to look at an example. So I'm just going to show you a job. So I've got a job ongoing here, which is called employee review form. So I'll show you the employee review form in the back office. So we've got some questions in here for the employee review form. So we've got 4 answers here, which are whole numbers. So we've got job knowledge, work quality, punctuality, and initiative. So they all require a whole number answer. So this is the job that we've got, and we're just going to head to worksheets. So we fill in the employee's name, so it's Stuart, and we fill out whole numbers from, it's asking us for a figure from 0 to 10. So we're scoring him on his job knowledge, his work quality, his punctuality, and his initiative. So all these answers are going to get registered. It's the same for any quantity questions that you've got in your worksheets. And what we're doing in the template is, first of all, we're just storing the worksheet answers in each box. Again, this is just a table from Google Docs. So I've just copied and pasted. I've typed in the headers. I've inserted the question, so insert keyword, worksheet question, and we've gone to employee review form. And we've chosen an employee name for review for that column. We've then got the job knowledge question, the work quality question, punctuality, and initiative. And what's happening at the end here is we've got a score. So if we just click into this, and we can see that there's an operation going on. So we've called it score, and we've chosen the operation for the formula. And if we drill into this a bit more, we've got another operation going on within there. So what we're doing is we're adding the answers. So we've got an addition, we've got the job question initiative added to the job knowledge question. And then we're adding that to the punctuality question and the work quality question. So it's simply adding the 4 answers together. And then the major operation going on is the division of all those 4 added together, and we're dividing it by 4, just get an average score. So that's what's going to be calculated in the end column. So just to run through how to do that, just once again, so we insert keyword, miscellaneous, and we choose a formula, and we're going to call it score. It won't allow you to have 2 formula names the same. So if we try and do score here, it will say you already have one that exists of that name. So we're just going to call it score 2. I'm going to choose an operation. So we're going to choose as keyword, and we're going to do another formula within it. It might sound a bit confusing, but we're going to add 1 and 2 together. So job knowledge and whatever the second column is. And we're going to do another operation. We're going to add the worksheet question for the employee review form and the job knowledge. And we're going to do an addition. Again, you can choose if you've got any kind of calculations that you want going on with your own worksheet answers. You can do that through here. You can do subtraction, multiplication, or division. I'll also show you in a bit how this can be used on financial documents as well. So you've still got this option on financial documents if you want to multiply any figures that you've got on your quotes or your invoices. You can use this formula to do some calculations on financial documents as well. So we're just going to choose addition, and we're going to want to add that to the other worksheet question. So we choose that, and we choose the second question along and save that. So see how it pops up saying a formula with the same name exists. We must have called the other one there. So that's adding the first 2 questions together, and then you're going to add the second 2 together as well. And then divided by 4. So I've got the same formulas under here as well that we saw in the earlier template. So basically it's saying if the condition, it's the condition that if the score is above 5, so we've got a condition in here which says if it's greater than 5. So before we use the equal to insert the image, we're going to look now to look at the scores, and we're going to say if it scores above 5, then we're going to insert this sub-template. So again, how we discussed this morning, go to miscellaneous sub-template. I'll just show you what the yes and no sub-templates look like. So yes is a smiley face, and you should be able to guess what no is. And no is an unhappy face on here. So basically it's saying if the answer to the question job knowledge is above 5, then we're going to give him a smiley face. If it's below 5, we're going to give him a unhappy face. So this is for all his scores below, and then we've just inserted the additional comments that are on the job. So here into the final row at the bottom there. So if we just go out of that, and we will just view the job card for this. So it's the employee review form that we've got. Just hit view, and we'll download it as a PDF. So it's come out like this. We've got our header, and this is the important bit. So it's worked out using the formula. It's worked out our average score. So again, if you've got any questions of value that you want to kind of add together on a worksheet and run an operation off it at the end to add a field into that, then you can do. And we've got the images inserted off that formula, and we've got the comments at the bottom. So I'm just going to show you for that concept for the financials. So again, we've got some formulas going on. I'm not sure how accurate these are, but we've got some addition of financial information. So I think we've got custom fields on financial documents. So if you want to capture some extra information on your financial documents in the custom field section, figures or anything like that, we can add the custom field keyword, and we're dividing that by 100. So again, you can add bits of information on financial documents using multiple custom fields, and then divide it by whatever you want to kind of populate columns. It's exactly the same concept as what we went through on the worksheet answers, and you can help maybe add some extra financial information that you want to capture. Once again, just to mention for anyone who wasn't on this morning session, the reason that these templates are showing up in this list, so there's only 5 showing, and not the complete list of templates that we've got in our back office. I think we've got nearly 25 on here. So we've got nearly 30 templates on the section, but only 5 are showing for job cards. So it's just because of the different usage that we've got against each document. So I did go through it this morning, but just to run over it, it's important if you built a template and you can't see it in the list of options, just double check the usage that you've got, and make sure it's set up correctly to be able to be used on different items. So we've got a whole list here of how we want it to be formatted, email, PDF, or SMS, and we've got a list of things that it can be applied to. So the first example I showed you in this afternoon session was for a note, and we've got job cards and financial documents as well. You've got alerts, knowledge base, and quote acceptance receipts. So just make sure if it's not showing in that list, just make sure the usage has been set up correctly. Just the final formula type. So we've got the option to round answers or information that we're storing. We can choose the number of decimal places that we want to kind of round it to. So that's those 3 on the formulas. I'm not going to show an example of that, but if you want to play around with any decimal questions that you've got, so on the worksheets, we've got options for decimals. If you're adding or multiplying different decimals together, it may pull out a longer number than what you want to display on your template. Or if you've got financial figures that are being calculated and you want to round it to 2 decimal places, then you can do that through the formula as well. I'm just looking at Hugh's quick question in there. Is there a way to see what worksheet an existing template points toward, template keyword points to? Let me just look at that. Go back to this door one. So there's not a way through here, unfortunately. Let me just have a look in the formulas. Yeah, so it gives you an ID, but it doesn't tell you which worksheet the keyword is pointing to. So it's just listed. Once it's in there, it's just named what the question is. So no, unfortunately not. Just one further thing to mention on the formulas. If you've got different headers for, I know we talked about this morning where you've got different headers and different options. So if you want one header to display on one job card, and you wouldn't have to build another job card to kind of show another logo. So you could have a question which triggered the formula to insert a different logo. So for example, if we take a look at this header that we've got, so here we've got the 4 cells that I created this morning in Google Docs. So we had a table of 4 at the top here. I think it should still be here. Yeah, so we've got four cells at the top here from this morning, and we chose to put the Shapiro logo on the right hand side, and we've got another logo in here. So we've got the NHS logo. If you wanted the NHS logo to only show if there was a positive answer or specific answer to a worksheet question, say you were doing some work for the NHS, and you wanted it to only display if you've ticked a question which said, is this NHS work that's being carried out, you could use the formula to say only insert this image if the answer to this question is yes. So if we just run through that, just going to get that URL from the NHS logo. So again, this is the code view which holds all the information in the template. So we can see the image location of that NHS logo that we've got. Is there. And again, if you wanted to remove it, you can do just by deleting it through here. So we can insert the formula to say NHS logo, and we can have a condition to say if the answer to the worksheet question, we'll just use this one because I know it's a yes/no question. If the answer is yes, then insert the image. And insert that image into there. So then we've got the option to say we only want this logo to display if it's a certain location. What you can do is if you've got different addresses, if you've got different company addresses, so you've got 2 addresses that might show on one job card, or you've got one location that would show dependent on another worksheet answer. So say there was a worksheet question in the job which said, where was this job taking place, Leeds or Manchester? If the answer is Leeds, insert the Leeds address, and insert the Manchester address if it's the answer is Manchester. Let's just have a quick look at that, what's been said on the chat about looking at the code view to see where the answers come from. Yeah, so it doesn't show the worksheet name. It just shows the worksheet question, which is what we've got anyway in here. So go out of that. So we've gone through notes and creating those triggers off of note types, and the option to kind of insert a note workflow into there. We've been through the formula keywords on the templates. I think we've pretty much covered all the keywords on there. We've been through this morning on how to kind of build the basic shells of a template, and get the formatting right in there. I'm just going to have a quick look in the keywords, just see if we've missed anything off. So we've got the stock options, which we've not really talked about inserting stock information. We've not been through jobs which have stock. So it works similar to financial lines, in that we would create a sub template, and we've got, just choose one that's not new. Okay. So when we insert keywords on here, and we choose to insert a subtemplate, we've got the options to insert plan stock. If we created one with the headings and the table with the keywords on the stock information on a job, so we can choose make and model, we can choose serial number, the pickup date, the pickup quantity, the pickup location, and the drop-off date, drop-off quantity, and drop-off location, as well as any custom fields against the stock items. And then once we're happy with that, we can insert a sub-template underneath that table. Again, from what I said this morning, to choose the same table that you've done in the main template, to insert that into the sub-template, so that it's all aligned. And then we've got the option to insert the sub-template in here, and we've got the option for plan job stock through here. We can add that. And I'm just going to have a quick look through now through the questions that we've got into the chat. So we've got the first question we've got is, can you insert images depending on the answer? So yeah, so yeah, we've been through that in terms of you can create those conditions to say only insert the image if the answer is this. Is there a shared gallery of these templates that we can download and refer to or make use of? There's not. These are all ones that I've built on my test site. There's no kind of library of them that there is, like the certificates that we've got, where you can pay for a certificate pack. These are all kind of things that have been built from scratch on specific sites, and that we've built. But what you can do is, once you're happy with the skeleton of how your templates look, is you can copy and duplicate them and just amend the worksheet answers in there, and amend any details that you've got. So you can duplicate them easily. You can copy the code across if you're happy with the first one you built, and you're happy with footers, for example. You can copy the code and just insert that into the second template that you've got. But no, there isn't a shared gallery as such of templates, unfortunately. So how do you get the formula box to show? So it's just a keyword. So insert keyword, miscellaneous, and formula. and then you can name it and choose the formula that you want to. Often I have a problem on my custom templates where the image is split between 2 pages. Currently I sort out with a page break, but is there an easier and more practical way of avoiding table or images to be split? It's probably is the best way to do that, is to split your pages and break up your pages in that way. Actually, it's something that I've not spoken about. So you've got the option here to insert page breaks. If we just go to that, go to so we've got the option after, say we wanted this on the first page and we're happy with that information on the first page, you can insert a page break, and then the next information would start on the next page. It does avoid that that issue of tables being cut off at the bottom of pages as well. So that insert page break is just one of these options across the top. You can also insert horizontal lines through there at the top there. When adding keywords from worksheets, a quick tip when searching the relevant worksheet is to click in the worksheet box so it highlights the contents, then start to type in the worksheet. So yeah, if you've got a longer list than what I have on my test site and you want to quickly find the worksheet, you can start typing in here and it will bring up the worksheet name quicker. So yeah, it's quite a long process to go through. If you've got loads and loads of worksheet types on here, you can just type and search for them, and it will start to bring up those options. Thank you, Hugh. How do you get a photo from the attachments to show in the template without it being a photo from a question? So you can pull it through from using that image source, and if you've got it stored against an attachment against any of the contacts, you can use that image source location on there. So again, just save any images you're wanting into the attachment. It will give it a URL on Amazon Web Services, and you can just copy and paste that into your templates. Is there a way to see what worksheet? We've been through that. Is Google Docs the only program you use to create templates? I've struggled to create complex templates using Google Docs due to its limitations. You can, well, people use Word as well. I just prefer Google Docs, but you can use either, whichever you find easier, either Google Docs or Word. There is a keyword for start date actual, but not for finish date actual. When we have a job running overnight, how can we show the actual finish date? So this is on jobs, and we've got the planned finish time and we've got the planned start time. We've got the job start time and job finish time actual. So you should have the option on your site as well to be able to insert the job finish time actual as well. So that was Freddie who's asked that. So if you've got any issues, Freddie, with that, just let me know and I can have a look for you and see why that's not available. But it should be here in the jobs and under the job timings. How do you take images or files from job attachments and share them in a template? So you need the URL that's provided with that. So attach them to a contact. Probably best to do it against your contact in your CRM and copy the URL there. And then you'd insert image and choose the URL that you've got. Sorry, I think I misread that. So is that question for attachments that are happening on the job? If the engineer is taking photos on the job, you can insert the photo questions in the worksheet question, choose the worksheet that they're doing, and select the photo question, and it will insert the photo that taken on the job. So you can take images from the job that's being done that this template is going to be used for and insert them in that way. Can you add rows to an existing table if you wanted extra cells without having to rebuild the entire table from scratch? So we had a similar question this morning. It's quite difficult to add especially if you're building it in Google Docs. We just said it's worth kind of saving them against your profile. So if you want to make any amendments to any tables in here, you can open and you can see your historic files. I'm not sure if anyone's good with HTML, they can maybe do something in the code to add another row in there, but I wouldn't know how to do that. So I think it's possible there. Are we able to insert model numbers from stock as a keyword? So these are the options from, we've got make and model, and the serial number alongside that. So these are the stock the in the job section. So recordings, this session has been recorded. It should have been. Yeah, it's being recorded. So we're just gonna get our branding kind of across the bottom, just the big change banner at the bottom. And if you email Road Crew just asking for recordings, if you wait until we've done all the sessions, which I think the last one's at some point next week. So if you want to kind of email in towards the end of next week, just asking for the recordings of which sessions you want, I think we should have them ready to send them across by then. Is there a way that can be done without using photo questions like the Big Change standard job sheet? There's not. So I think the question with regards to photos pulling through, if they're not being done as a worksheet question, and they just are as a fresh new attachment, the engineer's adding them as an attachment to the job. I don't think there's a way in here to add attachments in that way. Have a quick look. No, so I don't think there's a way to add fresh attachments. They've just been added on that job at that instance. So it would need professional services to build a bespoke report if you wanted to kind of go away from the standard job card and you wanted, if you were using attachments heavily and you wanted them to show, I think it would be professional services work to do that. I think Freddie was referring to the finish date. All the others say about time, apart from the one that says start date. You'll have to email me about that because I'm not too sure. I'll have a look into it. If you want to just email me with an example of what you mean with that, then we can look into it. Is there any further questions before we finish today's session? I hope you've gained something from both sessions today for those that were on both. And as I say, both sessions were recorded. So if anyone missed any information on this morning's session, then if you want to email us or email Road Crew towards the end of next week, and we can get the recording from the first session across. But otherwise, I have. Thank you. So yeah, that's all from me. So again, if you've got any further questions, you can email them in to. I'll just get this up. So yeah, you can contact our Road Crew team on 0213 457 1000 or email Road Crew at Big Change for any further information. Or if you want to email myself, I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Yeah, thank you.